Hello and welcome to Woke Watch. And this week, our good friends PETA are back in the headlines. PETA stands for the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, although I think it should read People Who Enjoy Terminating Animals, because although everything on their website is about animal rights, they're pet shelters in the USA where people take their pets to be rehomed. They're just fucking pet death factories. They euthanize pretty much every animal that comes through the door. Trusting PETA to rehome your dog is as sensible as resurrecting Jimmy Savile from the dead and then asking him to babysit your kids. But here in the UK, members of the British arm of PETA, they're demanding that the offensive name on a roundabout be changed. This is the pork pie roundabout from the city of Leicester, right here in England. It takes its name from the library which sits nearby, which from the air, that building looks like a giant pork pie. But of course it's more than that, because pork pies are synonymous with Leicestershire. It's where they're from. In the same way that any wine made outside the Champagne region of France cannot use the name Champagne, Melton Mowbray pork pies have the same protected status, albeit nowhere near as classy. So PETA want the name changed from pork pie roundabout to vegan pie roundabout, claiming that this will stop animal cruelty and cure obesity. I imagine a vegan pie would look and taste like a combination of cardboard and sawdust, but I've got nothing against vegans. Many of my friends are vegan. In fact, the guy who made my Woke Watch logo, he's vegan. Hi Jay, hope all is well. And I've moved my diet much more plant-based in the last few weeks, but I struggle with vegan meat alternatives because they're always ruinously expensive, bland and tasteless. But the worst thing is if I had something like a Quorn bolognese, the next day I will have flatulence that registers on the fucking Richter scale. And if that's normal, if that's the amount of gas that comes out of the average vegan's arse on a daily basis, they need to be investigated because they may be causing global warming. Vegans are a minority group. And like all minority groups, most of them are absolutely fine. But then there's a minority within that minority, which for vegans are these woke bastards from PETA, who on one hand are ultra woke because in Britain they're offended by the name of a roundabout, but don't see the hypocrisy that whilst they're screaming about that, their American counterparts are taking in rescue animals and beating Jack Russells to death with claw hammers. And sadly, that can leak out and make the entire vegan movement look a bit balmy. Just a side note, none of my vegan friends fall into that category. They're not the preachy, screamy ones. They're not the type of people who, when you meet them for the first time, the first thing they say is, "Hi, I'm vegan." Because if they were like that, I wouldn't be their fucking friend. Call me a cynic, but I don't think changing the name of a roundabout in Leicester will have that much of an impact on global meat production. I don't think there's cattle farmers in the USA who will see this story and say the name of that roundabout in Englandshire in the United Britain has changed its name. Pack it up, lads. We had a good run while it lasted. In fact, I wouldn't know how many American farmers would even know what a roundabout is. I've never seen one in the USA. It's all intersections. And as for the claim that it can cure obesity, that's based on 1 in 3 people in Leicester who are currently obese. But that's where it gets interesting. Leicester is the most culturally and ethnically diverse city in all of the United Kingdom. The British population are 87.1% white, but in Leicester, the population who are white and British drops down to 46.5%. So if 1 in 3 people are obese, unless it's just the white people who are a bit tubby, which I know it isn't because I've been to Leicester many times, and Leicester does have a very large Muslim population, as does Birmingham. If you're ever in this country from abroad and you want to go to Birmingham, you can visit the Saddam Hussein Mosque. Yes, it's named after him. Either way, I don't think that British Muslims are consuming large amounts of pork pies because their religion fucking prohibits it. And whilst I'm on this subject, can anyone answer me this question? What is it about Muslim families and orange juice? Because every time I'm behind a family of Muslims in the supermarket, their trolley has always got about 10 fucking gallons of it. Are they not aware other drinks are available? However, credit where credit's due, PETA have received a huge amount of praise and support from the people of Leicester. That's bullshit. Of course they fucking haven't. There hasn't been a single positive response. In fact, the MP for Leicester said in not so many words, if you're offended by the pork pie roundabout, feel free to live somewhere else. The thing is though, this is normal for PETA. Every campaign they launch makes them look like foaming at the mouth, swivel-eyed lunatics. And what's next? Are they going to ask Bryan Cranston to apologise for wearing a pork pie hat in Breaking Bad? Or will the people of Birmingham be asked to apologise to the Italians for cultural appropriation because in Birmingham there's Spaghetti Junction? As ever, thanks for watching.